This episode is sponsored by Overcast, an independent podcast app that embraces the open world of podcasting instead of locking it down. No exclusives, no premium content, no paywalls, just a great podcast app for everyone. Get it for free in the App Store. Hooroo, scientists! It is I, Dottore Balordo! And it is I, Mark Soloff of Muffed Movies, and together we would like to thank our latest patron, Jacob Dunning, for supporting us at the scientist level tier. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Again, all of you should know that all advertising revenue that this podcast is making is now being donated to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And the Patreon money still goes to supporting the production of the show. So we're helping the community, and we're helping pay the rent on the microphone. Jacob, I hope you enjoy the cool version of Dottore reading Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. If you would like to support the show, find me at patreon.com/Blastropodcast. Thanks so much for listening. Enjoy the share. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Blastropodcast presents Muffed Movies! I am your traditional host, Mark Soloff, and today on our episode, we have a non-traditional guest.
An exotic and perverse guest.
This is the shiny version of the traditional guest that you can only catch during special events. Pokemon Go reference. Ladies and gentlemen, please clap into your headsets for England's sweetheart, Grant Howitt.
Hello, Mark.
Hi, Grant.
Hi. Thank you for having me back in your pod chamber once more.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me again, all the way through over 30 miles away.
Yeah, at least 30 miles.
Whew, I couldn't run that far ever.
Mark,
yes.
we have entered the period of the year where the podcast sauna is happening. We're recording this in just to really date it. We're recording this in June.
Yes, the thing,
and
Grant, we do speak differently, you and I. Even though
yes, of course. Sorry.
In your parlance, the word for this month is
June.
We're recording in June, right? And the movie that we're about to muff is
Dune.
So while
I call it June.
Well, I pronounce the movie we're gonna muff Doon. Dune. Let's muff Dune.
Hey, you motherfuckers going down to Arrakis or what?
But to a classy sounding gent. I didn't call you classy. I said you sound classy because I don't want to put that upon you.
Thanks, man.
You're a man of the people, right?
I'm a person.
It sounds like he's saying June. And that's just a really fun little word thing for only me.
I look forward to a lot of fun little word things throughout this episode, in which we are muffing. I'm gonna try and pronounce it. Arrakis.
Desert planet.
Dune. There we are. If I can get hard at Dune, fine.
So
easy.
Who is the actor from Twin Peaks that plays the lead in this? Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan. I wasn't sure because I wasn't paying attention to his dialect for this film, but I thought as he went on, he got more pretend British sounding. Like when he had to give a speech to people. I thought he was dropping the R's off the end of his words.
He comes from pretend Britain.
Really?
Although his character comes from pretend Britain. Listen, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not explain the plot. But I think that the more opportunity he was given to vamp, the more he got into being a proper country gent.
I think maybe also he was surrounded by British actors. You know, he's got Patrick Stewart. I don't know if Max von Sydow is British. I think he speaks.
I don't know who that is.
He was the old priest in The Exorcist. The Exorcist.
I've only ever heard the muffing. I've never actually watched the film.
It's a disturbing film.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, but he's an actor of great gravitas, and I feel like he's British as well. So for this young man, this young Kyle MacLachlan, to be standing
Clan Matlock.
betwixt these imposing gents. He must have been like, oh, I better up my game by sounding a little classier.
Prithee, sire, I've come to the planet of Dune.
Oh, I believe I've erected a worm-attracting thumper.
Now listen, boys, you walk without rhythm, and the worm will not be interested.
Oh my God.
No, we're not giving him that voice.
I would love it if Michael Caine had been in this film.
He should have been, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
It seems like it seems the sort of thing which he'd slot into fairly well. Although I guess he has a low tolerance for bullshit.
He worked with Sean Connery. Maybe that was the beginning of his attitude of like never again.
I think if I had a low tolerance for bullshit, I would not want to star in a David Lynch film, or indeed go near David Lynch at any point.
Yeah, Lynch. He's an auteur, is that correct?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
And
he knows what he likes.
It's like one of those things like, hey man, if you don't get it, that's your problem. It's not my job to make you get it. Which is a little...
Well, it's kind of your job as director to make me get it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. However, Dune is a I'm gonna say it's a laugh a minute romp. It's
a romantic comedy.
It's a romantic comedy. It's breezy, watchable, a real page turner. Like a real eye filler. No, a real
just like your aqueous humor. It's a real eye filler.
It fills up the whole of your eye for 2 hours. I believe it's 2 hours, slightly over.
2 hours and 17 minutes, my man.
2 hours and 17 minutes, which you will not get back. But instead, you can listen to us, Muffet, in 45 minutes or less.
Yeah, that's a hard, fast rule.
A hard and fast promise.
So, Muffed Movies is a podcast, if you're listening to this for the first time, where we take movies...
What the fuck is a podcast?
What's in my ears?
Explain what a podcast is first, and then get onto the thing.
It's like radio for the internet, but it's not live. Dad, are you winning? That was my audio interpretation of the popular meme. Shale. Muffed Movies. In case you never heard of us, we're a scrappy little startup, Silicon Valley. We take popular movies, sometimes unpopular, and we memorize them word for word. Then we forget that, and we improvise the entire movie, playing all the characters using only our memories, our improv abilities, and some tiny notes. And we'll do that for you within 45 minutes. That's a hard and fast guarantee.
Fast. This is the longest tiny notes file you've ever sent me.
Is it?
No, I mean, you've only sent me one, come to think of it. Yeah, it's over 3 pages of tiny notes.
Oh, Grant, my sweet summer child.
It's a rich, canon to explore.
You should have seen my Lord of the Rings episode, Tiny Notes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There's lots going on in there, isn't there?
Oi, is all I have to say about that. Dear heart.
Okay.
Wait, real quick, Grant, before we dive in and get slippery and greasy, you are a pro-level role-playing game, tabletop game designer.
Yes.
Where can people find your work, and how can they support you?
People can go to rrdgames.com. That's our new that's our website. We can download all the games I write. I write role-playing games for a living, like tabletop ones. Most of them are free. You can just have them. They're 1 page long, so that's kind of the trade-off. And if you want more than 1 page per game, you got to give me some cash.
Yeah, and they're very good and very fun.
Thank you.
They are clever.
Yeah, they are fun.
They're clever and often quirky. I don't want to pigeonhole him, but Grant has a particular facility with making like fun and zany premises to a role-playing genre, which is often sort of like, you gotta find the sword of Mithros and kill the evil dungeon skull. And Grant's like, yeah, but what if they were cars that did that?
That's a great idea. They'd have to like sort of reverse around the corridor. I quite like that. You get stuck on the stairs.
Guys, we're too big to fit in the dungeon. We got to
Fast and the Furious and the Dungeons and the Dragons.
Exactly. The cars, their whole quest is convincing villagers and other small sentient beings to go into the dungeon and do the work for them. Like, hey, I'll give you a ride inside.
Honking in Morse code.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, my accurate depiction of your work.
That's fair. That's fair. Clever and zany. I'll take.
Zany. And I mean that, like, in a good way. I'm not like...
I'm aware of your oeuvre.
Like Wes Anderson's latest zany film. That's not what I mean.
No.
Grant Stuff is good. Support him, please.
Thank you. Yes,
Stop supporting me. Start supporting Grant, for God's sake.
No, keep supporting me. Okay. My Patreon's doing well enough already. I already get confused that people give me money for this shit because I give it away for free. So yeah, go contribute to this podcast, the one you're listening to right now, and not my podcast, Hearty Dice Friends.
Oh,
that's
yes.
a different one.
We didn't even mention that. Grant is also...
Didn't even mention... That's fine, yeah.
pro podcaster.
I also work at a museum giving tour guides. And I'm the king of Chicago, baby!
I never claimed to be the king of Chicago.
Well, I'm better than you.
I just said Chicago considers me a king. If you're going to take my entire identity.
You're always more of a prince of Chicago.
Thank you. Let us get down to it. Boop. Grant, do you want to do the song or the dance?
I'll do the song.
Okay.
I was really loud on the last one, so I'm going to move far away from my mic.
You know what I do?
What's that?
I start normal volume and then I just pull myself back real. So I'm like,
okay.
Muffed Movies presents Dune. The year 10,191. It is a galaxy ruled by the Padishah Emperor, but above him, the evil Spacing Guild, which controls all space transport, is concerned about the manufacturing of spice, a combination hallucinogenic drug and space fuel. The Emperor has plans, and the spice must flow. How will this affect the two feuding households of the good Atreides and the bad Harkonnen? Let's find out in today's Muffed Movie. Smash cut! We see a star field in space. The shimmering image of the Padishah princess, daughter to the emperor of all the galaxy, appears before us.
It's me, the Padishah princess, a character in the film and the narrator. My dad is the emperor, and he runs the universe. The galaxy? I think it's the galaxy. He runs the galaxy, and there's two great cool houses. A lot of this Mark explained in the expository bit before my expository bit. But the important thing is spice. It expands the mind and allows space travel. And it's mined on one planet. The desert planet, Arrakis. Also known as Dune.
We see the camera zoom out and the Bureau of Tourism advertisement for Dune winds down to a close. We see the credits roll, and the
Telly Savalas arrives, gurning into camera. Hey, Arrakis, it's my kind of place.
The monitor is turned off, and the advertising executive turns to a conference table full of other suits. Well, guys, that's our presentation. So, some notes. What do we think?
We're slightly concerned about the way you haven't mentioned any of the new monorails we're trying to build across Arrakis.
I'm sorry, sir. The monorail project didn't test well with the sort of 40 to 60 demographic. I think the monorail...
So all you're saying is we have the Emperor's daughter recapping something that's already happened, and then Telly Savalas getting into the camera, and you spent $50 billion space dollars on this.
Yes, it's true. We overestimated the draw of the Emperor's daughter. Turns out the Emperor is not very favored by his subjects, and they view his daughter as an extension of that. So we really thought bringing in Mr. Savalas at the end would kind of turn it around. He played Kojak, you know.
Yes, no, I'm aware. On Earth.
About 8,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago. He must be very tired.
Yeah. Well, he's been using the spice, which, as we know, is a combination of drug, consciousness enhancer, and mutagen.
It extends life.
It sure does. More spice, sir?
It's a wizard.
What?
Sorry? Oh, yes, please. I'd love some.
Damien, spice tray.
Yes.
Damien, the mutated spice server, trundles in on his 16 legs and feeds spice to the president of the Spacers Guild, a giant mutated being that's transcended humanity, but still wears a three-piece suit and attends the Tourism Bureau advertisement brainstorming sessions.
How's the scheming going? Have we managed to send that other sort of mole rat guy to the Emperor's planet?
Yes, sir. In fact, based on the chronometer on my Apple Watch, he should be arriving any minute.
Smash cut!
The Imperial Palace. Oh, so gilded. The really high concept courtroom. Grant, what do they call those where the king...
Court.
The court, thank you.
You had you were more than right. It's a room that is court. Everyone's there.
Yeah.
They're walking a lot of dogs around.
Yes, there's a motif of dogs in this film. If we were Alka Hollywood, the podcast, we would say drink every time you see a dog.
For the first half of the film, anyway.
Yeah, after the Great Dog Purge, there's fewer.
I've promised him 10,000 legions of my dog killer troops.
And there is one hairless cat.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We could
anyway, Imperial Palace, lots of money going around, lots of sycophants and courtiers. Some of note include the austere Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Molheim, who is a Bene Gesserit, which is like a Jedi from Dune, which is okay to say because Dune came before Star Wars. They're a psychic order, basically space witches, but I don't like to hurl the word witch around.
Well, they call themselves witches. I guess it was written.
Do they?
Yeah. No. Actually, only ever anyone else calls them Bene Gesserit witches. You're right.
Yeah, I thought it was used as a derogatory term.
Yeah. So yes, magic users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all went to Hogwarts.
She has shaved her head. She has a forehead which extends all the way to the back of her head.
A 5 head.
A 5? It's more like a 7 head at this point. And she's got a cool sort of rig around the back. She looks kind of like a creepy alien nun. And she's there with the Emperor, who looks like just a dude with a beard. He's pretty unremarkable, honestly. He's got a nice coat.
He looks like a man who would play a police lieutenant in New York. And they put like fancy future clothes on him. They gave him like obviously a fake earring. And they're like, "You're the emperor of all space. I'm George Lucas. I'm directing this picture now. You're the space emperor, which is an idea I stole from Akira Kurosawa, and also World War II fighter plane serials, which I watched as a boy. Anyway, I think this is going to be great. Oh, what's this? Alarms? Whoop, 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 whoop."
George Lucas detected in the base. George Lucas is bum rushed out of there by a variety of guards with shovels. Sort of bumping him out, rakes, brooms, that sort of thing. Rolling
the Chevalerium.
The Emperor's daughter walks up to him, the Padasha princess, and says, "Father, do you need me to narrate anything?"
Oh, wait, I don't want to be the same guy as the head of the Spacers Guild.
Well, he's not going to come back. It's okay. I don't know.
Let me try. My daughter, you have been great to me, your king, but from now on, I think me and the Reverend Mother Mohaim should be able to solve whatever problems arise. You are young and should fuck off so that we can entertain a very important guest.
Very well, Father.
Mr. Potter.
I'll stand over here near these dogs and look worried and then leave.
Good. Not a lot of good parts for women in this show, so sorry. It's the 80s.
Mainly vessels.
Thanks for being a narrator. 2 massive doors slide open, and an ominous retinue of bald white men dressed in pleather trash bag trench coats, all like covered in gel and slime, walk beside a mighty black train-looking thing. Is this Snowpiercer Origins? Hard to say. The huge vessel stops, emits a few jets of mandatory steampunkness, and then slides open, revealing itself to be a mobile aquarium. Oh no, it's my worst nightmare. A navigator level 3 from the Spacers Guild.
Hello, it's me, a level 3 navigator.
Oh, a naked mole rat looking giant thing, like floats to the front of the tank, revealing itself, and it moves its disgusting little mouth part from which gaseous spice emits. This creature speaks through a microphone held by a weird Borg guy. And everyone knows you gotta listen when that big old fetus tells you something.
Everyone's wrapped. the weird, slimy, greasy jerk who walked in next to the thing picks up the sort of big sort of Radio City microphone and says, "The witch has to leave. No witches round these parts."
No witches round these parts, eh? Well, just wait until I talk to my barrister. That's British for a lawyer. The witch, with a haughty turn of the invisible air where her hair used to be, stalks off into the corridor just outside the room, and then Assassin's Creed blends in with a crowd of houseplants so she can listen in.
Thank you for taking the witch out of the room. Now, I want to maybe restate the plot a third time, saying that how there's the Harkonnens and the Atreides are at war, but I think you're behind it, aren't you, Emperor of Space?
Yes, I am the Emperor of Space. Thank you very much. I'll have you know that even though I'm under the thumb of your guild, I still exert a bit of influence.
The horrible, greasy thumb of our guild.
Yes, it is horrible and greasy. The Atreides, pretty much great guys who live on Waterworld, have been assigned to take over Dune, Arrakis, desert planet, home of the Spice Burger, which
Spice Town.
Guy Fieri's Spice Town.
The Orange Zone.
Which, as we all know, is inhabited currently by the brutal, filthy Harkonnen. So, I don't like Atreides, and I think that those two are going to duke it out real nicey-nicey. Once they've abolished themselves, Dune will be free for any old spice monger to get his rusty claws in there, and the spice will flow like a waterfall.
Really get his mouth parts up in there. Listen, we've been doing an awful lot of drugs. the cool drugs from Arrakis, and we've determined that Paul Atreides has to die, the son of the Atreides family.
Certainly, third level navigator.
Yeah.
You are mistaken. As we all know, the impetuous Duke Leto Atreides is the true danger. He's the leader of the Atreides.
You shut your whole mouth, you idiot! It's Paul!
An owl flies out of the Emperor's mouth.
Thank you. It's been in there for a while.
Says the owl master, who retrieves it on his gauntlet.
Pockets it away within his cloak, where you can clearly see another 7 owls.
There you go, my dear.
Pop your nose there.
Okay, my lord. If you want Paul dead, then I'll be proud to say I buried Paul.
I was never here. This never happened. Goodbye.
The giant aquarium on wheels backs out of the room. And interesting note, the trash bag minions, 2 of them have push brooms, and they're mopping up this.
They're just sort of sweeping, hoovering.
Yeah, this swimming pool's worth of water and slime that for some reason the metal train left behind, but not doing a thorough job.
No.
Why?
I figured it was some sort of like they're preparing the space for him, so that they're cleaning ahead of him, maybe. But that's not how it works. I don't know.
No, they're going behind him when they leave.
It's a fucking slapdash film, man. It could have been anything initially.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird for weird's sake. The Emperor pulls open his calendar app. He writes down, have Paul Atreides assassinated on the planet Dune. Pilates at 5.
Reverend Mother Mohiam.
Hey, you're a man.
She pictured in the corridor, thinks to herself, Paul Atreides, we must have someone look at him. Now, when I say thinks to herself, I mean literally thinks to herself. There's an awful lot of just directly hearing a character's thoughts. And I'm kind of interested how we can recreate that in this. If I yelled into a cup, would it create the echo?
How about, okay, so yes, there is the motif in this film, which you normally only see in film noir and having one character have this ability, but you hear the inner thoughts of many characters.
Fucking everyone.
Which is really bad because in film and theater, you're supposed to show and not tell, but they have thoughts like, I think I'm earning his respect.
And I'll just say things that they're clearly they've just anyway, listen, Lynch, I'm sure you're a genius, mate, but it's just not for us, is
Lynchy.
It? Lynchy, baby, Lynchy, huh? Huh? Us fucking dunderheads over here.
Here's my idea. Instead of having to use any kind of After Effects on a recording, whenever it is the inner monologue of a character, they will sound as though they are underwater. So I think I've earned his respect becomes, I think I've earned his respect.
Perfect. Love it. That's great.
The audience is going to really eat this up. Speaking of eating this up, smash cut to the water planet Caladan. We see natural creatures of the water swimming and enjoying their hydration. A coquettish dolphin eats up a small crab and shares part of it with its life partner. And its life partner's life partner. They're open-minded on Caladan.
Or an advanced polycule.
I'm cool with it, says a giant blue whale. The governor of the seas.
The emperor of the seas.
We see the camera pan over the giant oceans and rivers and lakes and rain droplets, and it settles on the very medieval European-looking castle, the seat of power of House Atreides. We zoom in to a bedroom window just under a parapet, whatever that is, and we see young Paul Atreides. You might remember this actor, Kyle MacLachlan, from the Twin Peaks series where he's that detective guy who talks into the little micro recorder.
Paul Atreides is loading up in Carter 97 on his PC, and he is looking at all these cool planets. He's learning about Caladan, the place where he is. You think he'd know already.
And theoretically grew up his entire life there?
Computer, tell me about Caladan.
Caladan, water planet. Caladan is covered in liquid water. It is the home of the Atreides house. In the universe, there are 7 houses which pretty much own everything.
Computer!
Computer,
say Paul Atreides is a cool dude.
Paul Atreides is a cool dude.
Fuck you. Okay.
Now, here's a little bit of insight into the source material, if I can push my spectacles up onto my nose a little bit higher. In the universe, in the Duneverse, the singularity of artificial intelligence has already happened. It happened in the past, long before the events of Dune. So the machines became self-aware, and they were defeated by the biologicals. And after that, humans were like, yo, we can't have computers anymore. These mofos, they're too smart, they're too dangerous. So all our machines are going to be just dumb, regular machines. And when we need something calculated, we're going to train this whole class of people called the Mentats. And we're going to mutate them and make them basically walking calculator freaks. So whenever we need anything hard done mentally, the Mentats will come and do it for us. But we're not going to have robots. But in the David Lynch movie, there are several instances where they're using a technology that you'd really need a computer to operate.
Well, it could just be one of those. It could be like an advanced speak and spell. So it's just been recorded before on like an 8-track or a cassette tape, and then there's one of those clickety clackety look through the boxes noise. What are they called? There's guys, you have that binoculars and you put the pictures in them and you clickety clack through.
You know what?
What are they fucking called? It's like Viewscape or Viewfinder or what?
Viewmaster?
Maybe.
Vintage 1980s Viewmaster. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing you can look at 8 pictures through. So it's just one of those. I mean, it's not like it moves or anything.
You know what, Grant? I prefer to believe that inside the quote-unquote computer that is running his Encarta, there's just a small woman.
Named Computer.
Yeah, just like that lives in every Amazon Echo. There's just a little lady in there. Anyway, is there anything else you would like, my lord, other than to say platitudes about you?
The camera pans down to see Paul Atreides, holding a big list of things with says Paul Atreides has a real cool dick and Paul Atreides has loads of girlfriends. No, none at all. No, what I want to know is if could you tell me about June? Does it ever rain on June? Dune?
No,
not at all. It's very much the opposite of what it is here, where it always rains.
Yes, you're living on England planet. Or Seattle planet, if the Americans need a local reference. But Dune is all sand, and then its core is made out of spice, and then the mantle of the planet is just basically a layer of writhing, super fast, gigantic worm monsters. So you got your sand, your worms, and then your compacted spice.
That sounds pretty cool. You know what else sounds pretty cool?
What?
My 3 friends walking down the corridor behind me. I don't think they've noticed that I've noticed them.
Excellent, my lord. I will...
Oh, yes. Computer, turn off.
Ugh. The woman takes some ketamine and finally escapes the cruel reality of her existence. The door slowly creaks open, and we see 3 heads pop in just past the door frame in order of tallness. We see the Mentat, Thufir Hawat, the doctor, Dr. Wellington Yue, and then finally, the master of arms and combat man himself, Gurney Halleck, aka Patrick motherfucking Stewart.
Yes, I'm in this film.
Hello, hello, hello.
I see you thought you'd surprised me by sneaking up on me, but in fact I was fully aware that it was all three of you coming down the corridor to do some spooks.
Says Thufir Howitt. Young Paul Atreides, your senses grow sharper every day. I only regret that you didn't train to become a mentat like me and have cool big eyebrows.
We're all very jealous of your No, different voice, sorry. We're all very jealous of your eyebrows. They're very beautiful. Now.
Who's talking?
That's me, Patrick Stewart.
Oh, sorry, Gurney Halleck. Yes, as a man with very little hair, I'm sure you feel small in the presence of me, who has big Don King-like troll hair.
It's like a mountain growing out of your head. Paul, I'm here for a knife fight.
What? A knife fight? But
it's time.
Gurney Halleck, combat master, and Patrick Stewart, who you are, we just had combat training earlier today.
I don't care. I'm horny for knives.
He certainly is. I would do what he says, my lord, says Dr. Yue. Who, by the way, is also Ziggy from Quantum Leap.
Oh, that's who he is.
Remember that actor?
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember now. Okay.
He's also in Battlestar Galactica, the remake, but, less of a standout character, I think, there. Come at me, Battlestar Bros.
Patrick Stewart and Kyle MacLachlan put on their cool sort of 1980s VR shape-shifting hologram rigs and have a knife fight.
Yes. Now, it's important to remember that this film came out in 1984 and Star Wars was 79. So everything sci-fi had to be Star Wars for a little bit. So Prince Paul Atreides activates his belt system, and the most rectangular force fields I've ever seen.
Imagine a rectangle. More than that.
Are we talking Cthulhu level geometry here?
No, it's very Euclidean. It's depressingly Euclidean.
It's the platonic ideal of rectangles.
A series of rectangles which we have to assume are Patrick Stewart and Kyle MacLachlan duel each other.
Underneath the rectangular electro-condoms, these two men are barely visible and just sort of grapple with each other like big, animatics, like in a animated feature film before they've really rendered the CGI. They just have dumb looking stuff. That was the final product for this movie.
But it seems like Gurney Halleck is using his full power against me, thinks Paul Atreides. I'm not sure whether that works, honestly.
I think they get that. Okay, cool, that is his inner thoughts.
Yeah.
The young and spry Paul Atreides backs Gurney Halleck into a wall and slowly slides his knife through Gurney's force shield. It's the slow knife that kills, he says, quoting The Dark Knight Rises, his favorite movie.
Good work. However,
says Gurney,
I had a knife in your balls as well, but you still did pretty well. Now, fuck up a robot by yelling at it.
Yes, sir. Paul immediately switches from knife fight to, I don't know,
weirding module.
Yes, he takes out a dumb-looking gun and called a weirding,
like a hand blender, like one of those sort of immersion blenders.
Immersion blenders. Yeah, to me, it looks like one of those things that photographers use to check the light in a room.
Yeah, one of those guys.
With a little ball on it. Anyway, he's got a wonky little woo-wad, and it shakes around in his arm as a big, dumb cylinder robot descends from the ceiling and
fucking
juts
Rube
out.
Goldberg machine that makes you breakfast bullshit starts spinning around.
To Star Wars fans, that droid that's an assassin in Empire Strikes Back, the one that has like a cylinder for a head, Like, this robot watches that movie and dreams of being that guy. But unfortunately, this robot is just plugged into the ceiling for all eternity. It's basically a ceiling fan. If you replace the fan part with like corkscrews.
You did if you tied a switchblade to some but not all of the blades on a ceiling fan, that's about what you've got here.
Yeah.
Paul Atreides does some sweet flips and rolls.
For no reason.
Very little reason. And then goes, ha, 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 shouting with
Woohoo!
Wah! Unlocking the power
meanwhile,
of the
robot he's decimating is going, wow, I'm gonna win.
A tale as old as time, played out 8,000 years after the birth of Shigeru Miyamoto.
Truly, these are the Jungian archetypes that we see again and again in tales.
Paul Atreides fucks that robot up something rotten. He shouts at it, he shoots lasers from his sound blender thing, and all the sharp bits fall off, and everyone's pretty happy with him. Everyone says he's really great at this.
Yeah, you're so good, my lord.
Very good.
Peasants. Yeah, it's pretty easy when computers don't exist, and that whole thing is just a pre-scripted series of movements dictated by the unwinding of rubber bands inside that mechanism. I know where it's going to be before it even goes.
Fine. You've solved the riddle of the murderous ceiling fan. I see great things for you, my boy.
He truly is a man, says Dr. Yui timidly in the corner.
Paul Atreides barks at Dr. Yui. He solves himself a little bit. Just a little bit. Smash cut.
To the balcony. We see Dr. Leto Atreides looking over his soggy kingdom.
Doctor?
And yeah, before he rose to political power, he was a doctor of philosophy.
He's got his stethoscope, he's got his little reflective mirror on. Oh, I see, sorry, philosophy, sorry, go on.
He's truly one of the philosopher kings.
Okay. Hello, Paul. I'm sort of Swedish, aren't I? This isn't Swedish, this is German. This will do. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Father. It's me, Paul.
How are things with the murder fan?
Oh, they went great. First I took off the corkscrew part, and then I took off the poison broken glass part, and then, just for fun, I took off the decal on the side that said Intel inside, just to kind of embarrass it in front of the other pseudo machines.
Oh, you are so good at killing robots, my boy. I'm so proud of you. I am proud that you are my boy.
That is literally all I've ever wanted in my life.
Mm-hmm. I've raised you well.
Give me more.
Okay. I was thinking, since we got this contract to go to Dune, how about you and I go there together?
What?
You know, we can go hang out, we can go put on the suits with the water, we can go look at the dust. It might be nice.
That sounds like a new experience for me.
Yeah.
It might awaken something inside of me as a young man.
I really hope it does. You know, find love out there. Be crazy. Live a little. It's June, baby.
What happens in June stays in June,
eh?
Okay, sure, Father. This'll be great. I'll go pack my swim trunks.
Okay. Oh, listen, before one thing, I gotta say something real prophetic before you go, okay? Come over here. Oh, my voice is all over the fucking place. Hang on. Let me get back to German. Here we are. Okay, listen. I want to say something really creepy to you. The sleeper must awaken, yeah?
Sleeper?
Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, just FYI, on our video chat, Grant is now like slowly fading backwards in the room that he's broadcasting from, just like staring menacingly at me.
Paul, go to bed. I'm over here now. I'm doing private things in my private corner.
Smash cut. Paul's room later on. Paul lays in his bed with visions of sugar plums dancing through his dreams. He sees a sandy beach. Just kidding. It's a desert, idiot. He sees
Arrakis.
the word Arrakis appear, it metamorphosizes into the word Dune. And then into the words desert planet. We really got to get this across to the audience.
Planet?
Sting from the band The Police is cackling downward maniacally. And Sean Young from Blade Runner, she played the replicant who Harrison Ford really problematically pushes around into loving him. Yeah. She was the police lady in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Just like a troubled actress. He sees her. And she has blue eyes. Not just Frank Sinatra blue eyes, but even the sclera is blue.
In walk the Reverend Mother and Lady Jessica.
Now, Lady Jessica is the mother of Paul Atreides, but she never gets to be the Duchess. For some reason, stupid Duke Leto won't marry her, so she's like the royal concubine forever, which is pretty BS. Anyway.
The Reverend Mother, a quick question. Is this the same Reverend Mother from earlier?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because she's like teleporting and shit, right?
Yeah, she's like the Reverend of this district, I guess.
Right. She's the regional manager.
Planet Caladan is close enough that she can be the Reverend Mother for this area, but Dune has its own Reverend Mother, I think.
Lady Jessica, I can't believe you had the temerity to pop out a boy when we said you were only allowed to have girls.
Well, you know, when you're in love, all sorts of interesting things happen. Sometimes your Bene Gesserit training doesn't work, and you can't psychically chop off the penis and balls of the child in your womb fast enough to make it a girl. Oh,
nonsense! You're trying to make some sort of monstrosity, aren't you? Some sort of nightmarish Ubermensch.
No! Despite the prophecy about there being a boy Bene Gesserit, I only did this because my husband, I guess he's not my husband, the man who doesn't value me enough to marry me, but will have...
Your baby daddy, yes?
Yes. Yeah, he wants a successor to his kingdom, and that's got to be a boy, because it's still the old times, even though it's the future.
No. We needed to have you put out a nice, pretty girl so we could marry them off to the weird fuckos in House Harkonnen and just cement up over this big foo-furore over Arrakis. But now, you've gone and ruined it, haven't you? By putting out something with a willy. Well, hang on, no, I think I need to say this. I don't think he's the Kwisatz Haderach. She says, reading it off her hand.
The supreme being? Like the Messiah in our religion?
Yeah, we do worship God, don't we?
I don't know if we worship God, actually.
I'm pretty sure Patrick Stewart says, may God himself go with you at one point, which seemed really out of place.
I thought he said the gods at a point.
Later on, he says, by the gods.
Yeah.
Oh, he references, oh God, I think. I don't know. Okay,
maybe
cool.
In their pantheon, there's like Zeus and then the sub-gods. There's the dom god and the sub-gods.
Anyway. Oh, looks like he's awake anyway.
Paul, who had been faking sleeping, as we all did as kids when our mom would come in the room.
And argue with a witch.
Paul opens his eyes, and the Reverend Mother casts a baleful gaze upon him. She extends a withered and crone-like finger straight towards his third eye.
You, get along to your mum's room. I've got a weird box you're gonna hate.
With that, the Reverend Mother swishes her way out of the chamber and slams the door behind her. Lady Jessica looks with utmost concern down on her boy who is on the cusp of manhood. Now, just do what this creepy old stranger tells you to do because of religion. I'm really pulling for you, son.
I wonder why my mom looks so worried.
I hope that he can survive this trial.
Smash cut! Lady Jessica's room.
Ooh.
Sumptuous fixins abound. as we see the wonderful dark room, which where the Reverend Mother is here. She welcomes in Paul, who's dressed up and ready to rock. Come in, boy.
Yes, ma'am. Jessica pushes Paul in and slams the door and latches it behind him. She seals off the room with protective tape. Okay.
Now, we need to have a second kind of voice. I just realized because when characters are doing the voice.
You know what? I'll take this vocal challenge on.
Okay, cool.
You're not gonna like it.
Okay. Please have the Bene Gesserit Mother.
Using my regular voice, please, boy, come closer.
I don't want to.
Come closer, Paul.
Paul doubles over in pain at this nightmare voice that has crawled out of this woman's throat, and he walks over very slowly.
It's as if his skeleton were being puppeted by her will. The voice, so powerful, so choice.
What's this box I've heard so much about?
You want to look in my box, boy?
Yes, I'll take a little peek in the box. What's in the box?
You want to see what's in my box, do you?
Yes, I'm eager for it.
Intrigue, you does it?
Yes, I'm fascinated by the box.
Do you think it's just travel sweets?
Is it?
Raspberry bootstrap. Okay, enough of the Mighty Boost references.
Raspberry bootstrap.
Well, I think if you stick your hand in this box, you'll experience something new.
Father was always telling me to experience new things. Here I go! And he does a full sort of like whipping his arm around and then slams his hand in that little old box.
Oh, the box immediately stabs his hand from every angle with piercing lancets of pain. Paul goes to withdraw his hand when suddenly he feels a prickly little stick right next to his carotid artery. He looks down out of the periphery of his vision and sees the old Bene Gesserit Mother has one of those like sewing things.
Thimbles?
Thank you. Has a thimble to his neck, and at the thimble has been accentuated with a little curved goth needle, which is poking right into him. If you move, my gum jabbar will jab your gum, and you will die. Keep your hand in that box, and I won't stick you with my little poison sticker.
Says Paul. I must not fear. Fear's the man killer. Fear is little death. I will let the fear rush over me and through me. It will wash around my knees and I'll catch it in my socks. But it's cool. I'll change my socks later on and not have any fear. It's okay. He says.
Well, I've never seen any man hold his hand in a box for so long.
With a final mighty cry.
Mortal Kombat!
Dun, 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 dun. With a final mighty cry and releasing what seems to be a psychic burst of power.
Yeah.
The Bene Gesserit witch. Paul Atreides cries out, and the Bene Gesserit witch goes, "Oh no! Oh, it's over! It's over!" She says. Well, you did really well.
Paul looks down fearfully at what must be a mangled stump of burnt-off flesh, and he sees...
It is fucked. It is just gone.
Oh my god. You ruined my writing hand.
We tried using nerve induction for the longest time, but it was inefficient, so now we just fuck your hand up with knives.
He looks at the Reverend Mother's right hand, and it's obvious that it's just a robotic replacement that she got.
It's just wood. It's unmoving wood.
It's just a block of wood with a hand painted on it. Oh boy, it's hard growing up.
Am I going to get my hand? Am I going to get my hand back at some point? Can we grow back hands?
Well, no. But with modern technology, you could get a really great weirding buzzer put on there, and that would let you like blow up things around the house that your hand used to have to blow up for you.
Well, okay, listen. I'm going to bandage my hand. Can you tell me about some sort of weirdly sexist prophecy?
Yes. Lay down on the floor. Right now, Grant is pantomiming, bandaging and turning it in his hand. The level of commitment is amazing. Paul Atreides lays down on the cold slate floor to just take 5. And the Reverend Mother brings out her prophecy and crochet set. Anyway, there is a prophecy that the Bene Gesserit are all women. And one day, a man would study our ways and would rise up to go existentially into a place where women fear to go. Only a man can do this, and he will be known as the Kwisatz Haderach, and that'll be good. Anyway, many men have tried, and many men have died. 6 graves in the desert sand. Don't mess with Tombstone. She holsters her 6-shooter.
Paul is already trying to open the door with this with the weirding module he's got on there. He's sort of bumping at it. Are you done? He's got his mouth around the not using his left hand for some reason.
Yes, this now concludes Messiah talk.
Well, I'm going to go see if I can, I don't know, get at least a plaster or a bandage or something.
All right, good luck.
Smash cut!
2. The planet Getty Prime. You remember in, like, Star Wars how there's the planet that's, like, the center of the galaxy that's just an all city? It's like everywhere on the planet is the city, Coruscant. Mm-hmm. Getty Prime is, like, evil version of that because it's all, like, black metal. Everything has been taken over by industry. There's no good nature. The only thing approximating a river is, like, this pipeline, this exposed pipeline of bubbling oil that flows through the streets.
We see Baron Harkonnen, an enormous corpulent man, a sphere of a man, reclining in a sort of full body suit. And he has horrible pustules all over the right side of his face, which are seeping and suppurating. And the word I have in my head is smeedling doctor. I don't think smeedling's the word, but we all know what I mean. Is lovingly injected them, maybe just licking a little bit of the pus off.
Yeah, this doctor has a real hard-on for disease, which apparently Baron Harkonnen has in droves. He's so diseased and gross. And his, like, special suit allows him to hover around the room. So he doesn't even have to worry about being corpulent, because technology has solved that for him.
A big eyebrow man walks in.
Whose
One
name
of the Mentats
was never important enough for me to write down.
Apparently not. Hi, I'm Big Eyebrow Man.
I'm Steve Bannon.
Hi, I'm Steve Bannon. Conan, Baron, I'm here to tell you, again, that House Atreides is moving into Dune, and we're not down with that.
Oh, jeez. House Atreides always trying to step on my nuts. Well, I'll tell you what, big eyebrow boy, and my special mentat, Piter. Hey, you remember that in Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, that guy Wormtongue, who was like the twisted dark advisor to the Lord of Rohan?
Yes, I remember him.
He was like, so fair and yet so cold. Same actor plays this guy when he was younger. He gets like all the same roles as being like a little Weasley advisor. Anyway, he's my advisor and my mentat. And then I'd like to also introduce Fade, who is the singer-songwriter Sting from The Police.
So, Fade, I think you and Eyebrow Guy are going to get along real well because you're going to, like, just cackle at things that I say.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut him up real good with my poison knife, boss. Let me at him, boss. I just want to kill some Atreides.
Yeah, we all want to kill Atreides, but we got to be smart, Fade. We can't just go knifey-wifey wherever we want.
I'm your other nephew. I'm very sweaty.
Brandon, you make it. Finally, you made it.
It looks like I just finished eating a full brick of cheese in a sauna, but I was doing something else. I'm here. Excuse me, I'm going to crush a small insect in a little sort of Pez dispenser, then suck up its juices.
Yeah, we legalized it for recreational use.
We're all evil, aren't we?
we certainly are. Anyway, look, we're not going to go in knives out and wives out because Baron Harkonnen has planted a spy in the fertile soil of House Atreides.
Oh, who'd you put in, boss?
If I told you that, it wouldn't be a secret. Baron Harkonnen throws a little tiff and tosses his whole thing of McNuggets into the boiling grease that flows under the city, double frying them, making them twice as delicious and twice as evil.
Now, if one of you could bring me a beautiful flower-arranging boy to kill, I think that would underline the point I have.
Did someone say beautiful flower arranging boy? That's my title.
Yes.
Like the only normal looking person in the scene comes in.
Yeah, everyone else has stuff like stitched onto the side of their head or like one eye. They've all got that weird haircut.
Yeah, I find it kind of like problematic and offensive that the Harkonnens are all redheads. They're all gingers. And I mean, out of all the different groups that are like demonized in film and story, like redheaded white people don't get it very bad, but they still do get it. There's like a precedent for like Judas Iscariot being depicted as having red hair. And I think it's a thing more in the UK than in the US where you're like, gingers.
There's a real like prejudice against people with ginger hair.
Which is very strange, because I'm like, you're all white Europeans. They just have orange hair.
You gotta fight with someone. You gotta have an other. Otherwise, how are you gonna find what the in group is?
And since it's a recessive trait, the gingers are always going to be the minority. Mm-hmm. Easy to pick on.
Mm-hmm.
Until King Red rises from the Scottish sea.
I, Ginger King. Like a rat king. All the ginger people have tied all their long, thin hair together. And he's hovering around. Much like Baron Harkonnen, who hovers over to that beautiful young flower boy and rips out kind of a special sort of pull, like a plug in his heart.
Yes, everyone, this is explained later, everyone on Getty Prime has a heart plug, which is an external ripcord that at any time someone can pop out and then you just bleed to death internally.
It's a weird thing to have.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, anyway, there's a strange moment where Baron Harkonnen like predatorily hovers down to the attractive young man, like pops out his heart and sprays himself with oil and just kind of like menaces the boy down to the ground as he dies. We see the faces of Baron Harkonnen's retinue, and they're all like chuckling but also uncomfortable, which makes me wonder if there's like a sex component going on.
The hurdy-gurdy guy, the guy who plays the sort of accordion thing, he looks particularly like, oh god, not this again. Oh god, he's killing another prisoner. Oh.
I thought he outgrew this.
It's the third one today.
Anyway, we need a new boy.